Hi, my name is Mr. Brummond, and I'm going to give you a short video on how to record successful videos for your math class. You may be using these for maybe homework assignments, quizzes, or tests where you have to show your work and your instructor wants to look over it. Before we begin, just a few things about my general surroundings that I want to share. I am currently in the dining room, and around me I have closed the blinds so that way there's less light coming in. It'll be easier to see the paper that way. I'm also in a space that's close to the router. My wireless router is fairly close, so that way there's few disconnects, as hopefully minimal as possible. Behind me, my bookshelf has a lot of games on it, which I'm perfectly okay being in the shop while I talk. So just be mindful of the surroundings that you have while you're working on your homework. Additionally, I also have with me all of my supplies already. So your teacher will have kind of a list of the instructions of the supplies you need. But I have a calculator, I have multiple pens, pencils, and I have paper, and then I also have something to hold my paper up against, which I'll explain here shortly. So as you work through your homework, you may be required to show kind of the work behind it. So you want to be careful how you show it because the instructor has to be able to read it to give you credit. And so, just holding it up like this and then putting it down doesn't help. We can't pause the video if we need to be able to see it. I see a lot of students also want to hold it up and then like zoom in really close. That's perfectly fine as long as you then hold it still. If you move it around a lot, as we go through the video and try and pause it and see, we just can't. Also, I gave kind of a few examples of what's good work and bad work. So at the very top, it's very hard to read that. Also, if you're using notebook paper, what happens is if the area is extremely backlit, we'll actually be able to see right through this and we won't be able to see it at all. So one of the things that you can do is just grab a binder or something hard to hold up against and then just hold that with it and then just be steady. As you work through, be careful so that you can show and showcase your work. If you're required to talk about your work, make sure that you're thorough in your explanation. For example, this top example doesn't have the questions labeled. You can barely see anything. The answer is clear. How'd you get it? No clue. Question 1. In this below example, I said 3 plus 4 equals 7. I put a box around the 7. That way you knew that that's the answer. Question 2, I would multiply both sides by -5. I'm just reiterating what I already wrote down. It's probably what I would have typed in if I was, giving a typed response. And then question 3, true because of the fundamental theorem of algebra. Off on the other side, I also put, on the right-hand side here, I put my name, and then I also put the hour of the class. Important so that your teacher knows what's going on. One of the things you want to avoid doing in your work is if you're going to write, make sure that you write clearly using a pencil or a color that we can focus on. For example, this says, try using pencils that help us see it. This is written in orange pen on a yellow paper. Very difficult to read. Also, lastly, you may be required to show your calculator. If you are, just make sure that your calculator is sufficiently charged and that we can see the screen before we begin. Note that there is going to be a glare because it is going to reflect back my computer screen. So I'm rotating it, stopping, and then turning it here, and then you can see you in fact are awesome. If you have any questions, please reach out to your instructor before you take your assessment. Whether it's homework, quiz, or test, chances are you probably don't have multiple attempts, and after you use the attempt, the instructor is going to be apt to not allow another attempt. So please, 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 please be careful. I wish you all the best in your recordings, and we miss you all and can't wait to see you. Have a great day. Bye.